Welcome back to another segment of Behind the Scenes of the Waltons. Today I am continuing my holiday series. If you enjoy these segments, please do hit like and subscribe. I have been talking about some of the actors that were in The Homecoming and originated some of the roles that we later saw or didn't see on the series of the Waltons. Today, I'm going to be talking about David Huddleston, who played Sheriff Ep Bridges in The Homecoming. David was born September 17, 1930 in Vinton, Virginia, and died August 2, 2016 of heart and kidney disease in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I pulled from various different sources on the internet, including the Variety and the Hollywood Reporter, The Guardian, and IMDb. And according to these sources, the family home had no electricity or running water until David was around 10. He started performing at a young age in local community theater productions before attending Fork Union Military Academy in Virginia during his adolescence. After 4 years spent as a mechanic in the U.S. Air Force, he studied acting on the GI Bill at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York. Now, his early ambition was to attend the University of Virginia Law School and go into politics. Clearly, that didn't happen. Instead, he started out in the theater, touring with productions including The Music Man and Mame. David served more than 10 years on the Screen Actors Guild's National Board. He was elected to multi-year terms in 1976, 1982, 2000, and 2004. He was also a member of the SAG Hollywood Division's board. In the course of his long and extensive acting career, there were 2 films where he played a seemingly powerful character who manipulates a character played by Jeff Bridges to swindle money, in Bad Company and The Big Lebowski, for which he played the title role of The Big Lebowski. He appeared opposite John Wayne in Rio Lobo and McHugh, with Jimmy Stewart in Fool's Paradise, Betty Davis in Family Reunion, Gregory Peck in Billy Two Hats, and Burt Reynolds in Smokey and the Bandit 2. Once again, he played the title role, this time in Santa Claus, the movie. He worked with Mel Brooks in both productions of The Producers and Blazing Saddles, which also starred Cleavon Little, who, of course, was also in The Homecoming as Hawthorne Dooley. And both David and Cleavon did episodes of The Waltons, but not as the characters they played in The Homecoming. Besides all those film credits, David had over 100 TV credits, and he continued to work with just everybody in Hollywood. He did episodes of Adam 12, Room 222, 3 episodes of Bewitched, Night Gallery, 2 episodes of Bonanza, New Dick Van Dyke Show, Ironside 2 episodes, Paper Moon as a Sheriff, Mary Tyler Moore Show, 4 episodes of Gunsmoke, 2 episodes of The Rookies, 2 episodes of Kung Fu, Emergency, Policewoman, Rockford Files, 9 episodes of Petrocelli as Lieutenant Ponce or Detective Ponce. I guess he got promoted. He did 2 episodes of Sanford and Son as a cop, Charlie's Angels as a sheriff, Barnaby Jones as a sheriff. You seeing a pattern here? How the West Was Won, he did 3 episodes. Hissener, which I wasn't familiar with, but for those of you who are, he played 7 episodes as Mayor Cooper and also executive produced. He did 2 episodes of Trapper John M.D., The Fall Guy, Magnum P.I., Murder, She Wrote as a sheriff, Star Trek The Next Generation, Walker, Texas Ranger, Gilmore Girls, The West Wing, 2 episodes as Senator Max Lobel, and he had a reoccurring role as the grandfather on The Wonder Years, for which he was Emmy nominated. David also appeared on Broadway. He portrayed Charlie in Death of a Salesman in 1984, which starred Dustin Hoffman, for which he received a Drama Desk nomination, which is basically a theater category, a theater awards show. Judge Bowling Green in Abe Lincoln in Illinois in 1993 to 1994. His wife told the LA Times that he considered his crowning achievement to be the role of Benjamin Franklin in the 1998 Broadway production of 1776 and in Washington, D.C. in 2003. In a Hollywood Reporter article after his death, his wife noted, it wasn't surprising to see such great pals as James Cagney, Ralph Bellamy, Harry Morgan, or Pat O'Brien hanging out in his home. He once asked Cagney, "What's the best advice you can give me on acting?" Cagney replied, "Try never to get caught at it, kid." Great advice. Of course, in The Homecoming, he played Sheriff Ep Bridges. This was where we first met that character. And he was bigger than life, in real life and on screen. I didn't have any scenes with him, but I do remember meeting him. And he although he was big and kind of gruff as the sheriff, that was never the impression I had of him in real life. And it was a different sort of portrayal than what we came to know as Sheriff Ep Bridges, as played by John Crawford in the series. But I felt like each of those two actors and what they brought to the role was perfect for what was scripted for them in the shows that they did. Ep Bridges was written differently in The Homecoming than he was in the series. And I thought they were both perfect for the roles in their respective jobs, be it whether it was The Homecoming or the Waltons. When he returned to the Waltons in the episode The Literary Man, he was a very different sort of character as the sort of traveling writer AJ Covington, who made such a big impact on John Boy that John Boy forgot about what he was supposed to be doing, and he got into all kinds of trouble for not getting the work done that he and AJ were supposed to be off doing for Daddy in terms of gathering more logs to be cut. And instead, they spent their time talking writing, which was just meant the world to John Boy. And I think it did to AJ as well, to have this young, eager person who was just sat on every word that he said and took it all in like a sponge. And AJ was a kind of kinder, softer, gentler presence, but no less of a real presence than what he was on the screen as Ep Bridges. I really enjoyed working with him. I always found him to be so nice to all of us, and he wasn't at all intimidating. He wasn't standoffish. He was just very accessible, which was really wonderful for us who were younger. In 2011, we did a sort of 40th reunion of The Homecoming in New Jersey, and most of the cast was back there for that. Richard Thomas was doing a play in New York at the time, so he even popped over to the event after his show that night. We did a Q&A. They screened The Homecoming in this wonderful movie theater for all of us to sit and watch along with the audience. So that was quite something. John and I did a rendition of the Goodnight song that John wrote for the CD, A Walton Christmas Together Again. So that was fun to sing that live. But the whole point of this is to say that David Huddleston was one of the guest actors who came and attended that and was part of it. And when we took group photos with people, with VIPs who were attending or just fans that wanted an opportunity to get a picture with the cast. And so it was great to reunite with David so many years later and once again have the opportunity to be reminded of what a lovely person he was and what an important part of the show he turned out to be. That was when the cast had an opportunity to go on the Today Show and just talk about the history of the Waltons and the fact that we were celebrating 40 years. And then, of course, we went on to do a 40th reunion in Los Angeles, where there was all kinds of actors, guest actors who were able to attend that. And now here we are. We are more than 50 years since The Homecoming, but it's still so much a part of my memories, and I think all of your memories, and it's been so gratifying to find that it has become sort of a holiday classic and that it continues to be shown every year. And a lot of you have mentioned to me what your tradition is relative to watching The Homecoming each holiday season or even throughout the year. So thank you so much for that, for helping to keep this wonderful film that Earl Hamner created and that started this wonderful 50-plus year legacy that we are a part of. So thank you very much for that. Thank you for joining me for this segment about David Huddleston, who was at Bridges in the Homecoming, as part of my holiday series. I hope you're enjoying these. I'll be back with more behind the scenes of the Waltons and more Ask Judy and maybe a little bit more of special things for the holidays. So I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.